temporary protected status. Can you tell us a little bit more about what it is? This program that has been going on for a while now. Can you just explain a little bit more about that?
Okay, TPS is temporary protected status. It's a provision in the U.S. immigration laws, and it helps the people who are in the United States when something happens in their country. So Hurricane Mitch in Honduras back in the 90s, the earthquake in Haiti, the Ebola outbreak in Liberia. When these sorts of infrastructure collapses happen in a country, the U.S. will announce TPS for everyone from that country who was already in the United States on a certain date. It is not a way for people who are abroad to get here. Okay, so we're only talking in terms of TPS for Ukraine about Ukrainians who are already in the United States. But what it does is it says, we're not going to deport you. We're going to give you work permission. We're going to give you the means to get a driver's license and to stay in the United States and live and work here safely, because we recognize you can't go back to your home country. And so typically the TPS designations will last for about 18 months, 12 to 18 months. And then their redesignation will happen. Sometimes it goes on for years and years and years, like we saw for Honduras and El Salvador in the late 90s and early 2000s. And sometimes it ends pretty quickly, like the Liberian Ebola outbreak. Once that was done, the TPS designation ended, and then presumably those people, return home because they lose their legal status in the U.S. So for people who know a Ukrainian, person in the United States who was here before March 1st of this year, so just 2 weeks ago, they can apply for TPS designation and stay here for 18 months. And the same is true now for Afghans who were here. I think the designation is, as of yesterday, March 15th. So any Afghans who are already here by March 15th can apply for TPS and stay here, which is good. It's good. But it's also, there was some, pending legislation to assist Afghans with permanent status who are in the United States, and TPS may take a little bit of the wind out of those sails, or the urgency out of that legislation. So we'll see the outcome of that. But, TPS is almost always a good thing, and we do need to see really quick action on that.
I think this also kind of proves the disconnect between the different branches, because it's if I'm not mistaken, it's TPS is an executive action, which the president can do, but then there's a lot of people that are stuck in this status. It's they're living here, paying taxes, working legally, but it's that's all we get essentially. And I feel it feels very similar to DACA for me. For example, it's it's a temporary thing that TPS is even less reliable, I feel because you have to wait for it to be redesignated and announced by the, all of that process to feel the security that it's going to go on for another 18 months. But it's just the disconnect between the different branches, and also the need for something permanent, to a permanent solution to the immigration problem that we have.